What's up guys, my name is Tony, you are watching Craft and Construction, and in today's video you are gonna see how I built this pretty awesome tool cabinet. For the framework we are gonna use this 80 by 40 construction wood. It is not the cheapest stuff, but it comes out of the hardware store with straight angles, so the only thing I have to do is rip cutting on a table saw. So let's get into it. Now the rough cut is done, and next I take this cheap jig and pocket hole all these things up. I finished these two side parts now. Each of them are connected with 8 pocket holes and a little face glue. Before we finish the cabinet build, we will make a little groove that holds the side panel. Roll a bit, let's go. The pocket hole connections of the cabinet are finished now, and they came out surprisingly well. I fail only this one. As you can see, the connection is pretty bad. I will try to fix this by using two F-clamps and force it into shape and then re-screw it. Oh nee, jetzt ist der Leinschritt. Ah. Oh bitte. Ah. Moment of truth.
Much later.
Cold at the workshop. Whew. The drawers are already attached now. I'll make a separate video about that, link to this in the video description. And next we will make the tabletop. As you can see, the cutting line from the hardware store comes in perfect condition. Not. And so I had to resaw all the edges. After that, I cut the tabletop to the final dimensions. The tabletop is made out of two separate plates. At first, I clamp everything to my framework and check with an aluminum extrusion if the plate is perfectly flat. For me, that looks good enough. I apply the wood glue, clamp that stuff together again, and pray to the woodworking god that it will stay in that shape after removing all the clamps. I use 3 M8 aluminum extrusions to clamp my workpieces to the tabletop. That's pretty flexible, cheap, and I can build a bunch of clamping accessories for it. I grab my router and use the rails as a depth gauge. Just breaking the edges and fixing some accidents with the router, and we can install the rails to the tabletop. The back panel sits in a relatively small notch. I cut off the nail heads to prevent the wood from splitting. This hack is used by craftsmen for generations and works perfectly. Now the panel sits flush with the framework, the cabinet is entirely closed, and the project slowly comes to an end. Because my office hands are smooth like an ass, I give the tabletop a nice and pleasant round edge, and finally give the whole container several coats of varnish. And here we are. That's my new homemade tool cabinet. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you want to build it by yourself, check out the link in the video description and have a good one.